Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to tear down the claims around, well, a really specific corner of the online marketplace. We're looking at those ultra-budget off-road bikes, like the Washranp 50cc two-stroke mini dirt bike. You've probably seen these things, right? Advertised for under $200 sometimes. Our mission today is to cut through that, the marketing noise and really look at the trade-off, that super low price versus what you actually get.
Exactly. And this isn't just a product review. It's more about understanding this weird market segment where cost, that upfront number, is pretty much the only thing driving the design. So we're aiming to give you a really unvarnished look, help you figure out if this kind of extreme compromise actually works for you, your skills, and honestly, your safety concerns.
Okay, let's dive in then. People see that price tag, and the first question is often about limits, like weight capacity. The specs say 150 kilos, 330 pounds. But what's the real story there? Can it actually move with that kind of load?
Right, so that 150 kilograms, think of it as a structural limit. The frame might, technically hold that weight without snapping immediately. But the engine, it's tiny, 1.25 kilowatts. It's really meant for a small kid. You put a heavier adult on there, and, well, you're not going anywhere fast. Or maybe anywhere at all. It just doesn't have the power.
Okay, so it might not buckle, but it definitely won't perform.
No.
Got it. What about making it fit the rider, especially a kid who's growing, handlebars, things like that? Any adjustment?
Nope. Basically none for height. You can rotate them a bit, that's it, which is, a huge difference from better youth bikes, where you get a lot more ergonomic adjustments so the bike can actually grow with the child for a while.
Okay. Limited adjustability. So, who is this bike actually for? Is it truly beginner-friendly like they often claim?
Well, yes and no. It's beginner-friendly to ride, I suppose. Small size, low seat, automatic clutch, easy to just hop on. But, and this is the big but, it demands an owner who's good with tools.
Yeah.
Really good. We saw one comment, someone had to actually weld the muffler back on right out of the box because it was faulty. So yeah, you need constant checks. Pre-ride inspections are absolutely essential, like every single time.
Easy to ride, hard to own. That's a really key distinction, isn't it? Especially if you're buying for a kid and you're not mechanically minded yourself. And speaking of mechanical stuff, fuel. What does this thing drink?
Yeah. It's a two-stroke.
Yeah.
So you need that precise mix, 25-1, of gasoline and specific two-stroke oil. And not just any gas needs to be high octane, 91 or higher. Ethanol-free is definitely better if you can get it. Use straight gas, they'll kill the engine fast. They do give you a little mixing bottle, which is kind of a hint right there.
Okay, so very specific fuel needs. What about safety gear? Helmet, pads, gloves, anything included?
Nothing. Absolutely zero safety gear included. And that's crucial because you're looking at, another $150, maybe $300 easily for decent gear.
Yeah.
So that effectively doubles your real starting cost.
Yeah.
Just to operate it safely. It's not optional.
Right, definitely not optional. Let's zoom out a bit, this Washramp brand.
Yeah.
What even is it? Is it a real company?
Not in the way you'd think of Yamaha or Honda, no. Washramp seems to be just like a generic seller name used on digital marketplaces. There's no official website, no real corporate entity behind it that you can contact, no reliable support, forget about warranty. It's what people call a Chinese mini moto, probably sold under dozens of different names. So finding parts, you're sourcing generic stuff and hoping it fits.
Wow. Okay. So basically no backup. They do mention upgraded features, though. What does that actually mean in this context? Better parts.
Yeah. Not really better in the sense of premium quality. It's more like reactive fixes, necessary patches, things like a slightly thicker frame, maybe better chain guards, a redesigned exhaust angle. These aren't really upgrades. They're fixes for common and sometimes dangerous failures, like chains constantly falling off or the exhaust pipe just snapping. It shows their patching problems, not designing quality in from the start.
So upgraded means less likely to immediately break in this specific way.
Pretty much, yeah. And don't expect it to last like a Japanese bike. You might get a season, maybe two, of light use out of it if you maintain it constantly.
Okay, a season or two. That puts the price in perspective. How does that sub $200 tag stack up against, say, a Yamaha PW50? That's like $1,800, right? Or a KTM 50 SX is nearly $5,000.
Exactly. It's a massive difference, and it shows totally different ways of thinking about design. Washramp is purely cost first. Get it out the door cheap. The Yamaha PW50 is more beginner first. It even has a shaft drive, so no chain maintenance, which is huge for parents. Super reliable, easy to own. And the KTM is performance first. It's a little race bike. Different worlds.
Different worlds, different costs, different levels of headache, probably. What are the common complaints you hear from people who actually buy these ultra-budget bikes?
Oh, lots of recurring themes. Carburetor issues are really common, needing constant tuning or cleaning. Pull starts break easily. And a big one, maybe the scariest, is bolts and fasteners just vibrating loose all the time. You have to check everything before every ride. Constant vigilance.
That sounds stressful. Okay, let's try and wrap this up. If someone is still tempted by that price, what are the absolute top things they need to keep in mind?
All right, 4 key things. 1, mechanical skill. You have to be willing and able to assemble, tune, fix, maybe even weld this thing. It's practically a kit bike. 2, safety risks. Understand that low-quality control means unpredictable problems. Things can break unexpectedly. 3, manage your expectations. This is a short-term toy, not durable equipment. Think disposable almost. And 4, calculate the real cost. Add in that mandatory safety gear, budget for replacement parts, and factor in your own time for all the fixing and fiddling.
So, based on all that, our deep dive gives it, what, a 45 out of 100? Mostly dragged down by quality, safety, support.
Yeah, pretty low score overall. But for pure bang for buck, just looking at getting any kind of running dirt bike experience for that minimal cash, we gave it a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10 bang for buck, but with huge caveats.
Huge caveats. That 6 only counts if you accept all those risks and responsibilities we just talked about. It delivers something for the money, but yeah, the hidden costs are substantial.
It really is a paradox, isn't it? Super accessible price, but it comes loaded with these hidden costs, safety worries, reliability issues, and just the sheer amount of work you have to put in.
Absolutely. So the final recommendation, it's pretty clear. This bike is maybe okay for a very specific person, a mechanically skilled hobbyist who enjoys tinkering and wants a cheap project. But for the average parent just looking for a safe, easy first bike for their kid, absolutely not recommended. Seriously, look at a used name brand bike instead. A used PW50, for instance, might cost a bit more up front than this new Washramp, but the safety, the reliability, the peace of mind, that's invaluable, especially with kids.
That's a great point about used value. So thinking about all this, what's the one thing that really stands out to you, the listener, from this deep dive into the world of ultra-budget bikes and their hidden trade-offs?